Um, welcome to our first board meeting of 2026. I call the meeting of the Board of Directors of Redox OS to order. I'm just going to turn off my camera now. When I state your name, please acknowledge your presence. I'm Ron Williams, I'm present. Jeremy Solar.
Present.
Alberto Souza.
Present.
Matthew John Roberts.
Present.
We have a quorum. The minutes from the previous board meeting have been provided to you. Are there any corrections? If there are no corrections, the meetings are approved as distributed. As required by the bylaws, the Redox OS nonprofit elects its directors and officers each year. Just to clarify, an officer is someone who performs duties on behalf of the board, while the director is a voting member of the board. Redox officers are also directors. So as we elect our officers, we're also electing them as members of the board. In particular, the president presides over the board meetings, and the vice president acts in the president's place if the president cannot attend a board meeting. I'd like to note that we are following a meeting script for convenience, but each member is free to act or vote as they wish, in spite of whatever the script may read. So please feel free to adjust your votes or your statements accordingly. I would like to open the floor for nominees for president and director.
I'd like to nominate Ronald Williams to the office of president and director. Seconded.
Are there any other nominees for president and director? If there are no other nominees, those in favor of myself, Ronald Williams, for president and director, say aye. Those opposed say no.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
The ayes have it. Yours truly, Ronald Williams, is elected president and director. I would like to open the floor to nominees for vice president and director.
I nominate Jeremy Solar to the office of vice president and director.
Seconded.
Are there any other nominees for vice president and director? If there are no other nominees, sorry, there's a line missing from my printout. All those in favor of Jeremy Solar for vice president and director say aye. Those opposed say no.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. The ayes have it. Jeremy Solar is elected vice president and director. I would like to open the, sorry.
Just, I think, error. I think a mistake happened. I voted first, then you and Matthew.
So,
I think, Ron, I think you got
okay.
to vote.
So, yes, I vote aye on this. The ayes have it. Jeremy Solar is, oh, Matthew, sorry, can you also repeat your vote?
Aye.
The ayes have it. Jeremy Solar is elected vice president and director. I would like to open the floor for nominees for secretary and director.
I'd like to nominate Alberto Souza as secretary and director.
Seconded.
Are there any other nominees for secretary and director? If there are no other nominees, all those in favor of Alberto Souza for secretary and director say aye. Those opposed say no.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. The ayes have it. Alberto Souza is elected secretary and director. I would like to open the floor for nominees for treasurer.
I'd like to nominate Jeremy Solar for treasurer and director.
Are there any other nominees for treasurer? If there are no other nominees, all those in favor of Jeremy Solar for treasurer say aye. Those opposed say no.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. The ayes have it. Jeremy Solar is elected treasurer. I would like to open the floor for nominees for other directors.
I nominate Matthew John Roberts for director.
Seconded.
Are there any other nominees for director? If there are no other nominees, all those in favor of Matthew John Roberts for director say aye. Those opposed say no.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. The ayes have it. Matthew John Roberts is elected director. Thank you, everyone. We've elected our board of directors for 2026. We don't have the 2025 financials ready for review yet. I also never finalized the 2024 financials. So I'm going to try and set up an accounting system and get all the data entered and produce proper reports. There are a couple of open source options for accounting systems, and I'll do a quick evaluation and pick one that supports multiple currencies, and then I will get the data entered.
Do you mean a spreadsheet program or a service, accounting service?
So there are online accounting software that can properly produce reports and so on and handle transactions in multiple currencies. So it's effectively like a an accounting database with
I see. Because generally Google spreadsheets is the mostly used for web browser accounting, but LibreOffice has support for currency exchanges.
yeah. So I'm going to sync up with you probably next week and talk to you about accounting software options. Any other comments on that topic? Okay, can I get a motion to discuss the 2025 budget?
Move it.
Seconded.
Okay, so I just have to get my self in order here. I'm going to have to read the script from the computer. Okay, I've provided you a budget for review. It's at the link posted in the board room, as well as in the nonprofit repository. So based on current projections, we can support one summer of code project this year in addition to our existing commitments. So that's we currently have Ribbon and Wilden as ongoing resources, and we have Andy Anad as immediate commitments. So we have one additional person as a summer of code option beyond that. The so I provided the budget with the sum. It shows us ending up with a deficit of about $2,000 at the end of the year, assuming current donation levels, with no further contributions included from past donations before the nonprofit was set up. Are there any concerns with the budget as presented? Can I get a motion to approve the operating budget and to authorize the treasurer to make expenditures according to the budget?
Moved.
Seconded.
It's moved and seconded that the operating budget is approved and the treasurer is authorized to make expenditures according to the budget. Those in favor say aye. Those opposed say no.
Aye.
Aye.
The motion is carried. The budget is approved and the treasurer is authorized to make expenditures accordingly. Can I get a motion to discuss fundraising?
Moved.
Seconded.
So our donations from individuals are fairly low and they're not growing. I was surprised that Jeremy's excellent presentation at RustConf didn't really produce any more donations. We did, I think, get some new contributors as a result of that RustConf presentation. But we need to think of new ways to increase donations from our supporters, specifically the individuals that have been contributing through Patreon and DonorBox. I think we need to improve how we handle our list of donors on the website. So I'm going to try to work with Wilden to see if we can set up a better mechanism to keep that up to date and visible. We have a couple of NLNet funded projects running right now. The capability-based security project gives us the infrastructure to implement Capsicum-like security and the mechanism that will allow us to make Redox more secure by default. The ring buffer project should help us improve our driver performance significantly, as well as putting us in a good spot for WASI's async IO model. We're almost finished the signals project. I have a small amount of work to do related to signals testing, and there is some work from the capabilities project that was mapped into the signals budget, so we need to just get that wrapped up. I think the bulk of the work has been done there, and hopefully we can get that wrapped up and make all the claims from that. There's, I think, about 3,000 euros that will come to the nonprofit based on that work, and that was included in the budget. So we have a large NLNet project that's in a holding pattern, so they've been very kind to let that project just sort of slide into each subsequent call for proposals rather than making us start fresh at the beginning of a cycle each time. So that proposal has a budget of 50,000 euros. We don't have a full-time developer for that project. The proposal is to improve Redox as a hosted OS running on QEMU and possibly on Beehive. And so at this point, I'm considering volunteering myself for the project to A, to make sure that we do activate the project, and B, because I am looking for some funded work from NLNet. So I think that might be a reasonable fit. So the core of the proposal is Redox running as a hosted OS on QEMU and possibly on Beehive. I think I said that already. And it was originally written for me to be the developer. So I'm hoping to actually move that forward this year. But if we do find a full-time developer that would be a good fit for that project, then I would try to shift the work to them. Does anybody have any concerns or questions about that? We have a proposal for NLNet for Ibuki to continue the work on capabilities, to continue compatibility work for Capsicum, and to support WASI's CAP standard API. One of the ideas that I included in the proposal was to build a version of CAP standard that works with libredox rather than going through relibc. This would be an experimental thing because it would be hard to maintain in the short term, but I think it would be a very powerful demonstration of our ability to support WASI, and especially if we're running Redox as a containerized system, then we can position Redox as the WASI platform for secure execution of WASM applications. Ibuki has a strong interest in WASI as well, so I think this is a really good opportunity for both us and him. That proposal is in the pipeline and has not been approved or rejected. We've received no formal feedback on that yet. They've just acknowledged that they've received it and made it clear that they understand that it's specifically for Ibuki. Anand, Andy is hoping to apply for a grant to work on our network stack. He's hoping to get that in for February 1st, and the focus is to improve the parallelism of our network stack and to take advantage of hardware support that's available, and to look at virtualization as well. So that should give us a big performance boost on our network stack, and again, positioning us as a potential high performance WASI platform, I think, as well as a server platform for the cloud in the near future. So the next topic is Google Summer of Code. The deadline for applying as a mentor organization is February 3rd. And the way it works in general is that we apply as a mentor organization and we identify who our mentor would be. And then a student would select us as their mentor organization. The mentor would have to commit to supporting the student. And then Google would screen the students and choose specific projects. So us getting approved for Google Summer of Code would be a combination of us getting approved as a mentor organization and then a student that's interested in working with us getting approved to do the work. Now, I don't want to volunteer myself for a GSOC project because I'm hoping to focus on the NLNet projects, and I don't think that I can manage both. The we get should be a very capable student. So I'm not sure whether someone else would be a good suggestion for mentor if there's anybody else available. So I just want to open the floor to your thoughts on whether we should apply for Google Summer of Code this year.
I don't think we need to apply this year. If I recall, we tried in the past and were not accepted as a mentor organization. And the one time I was able to do it was 2016, where a group of microkernels all applied together.
Okay.
And we were able to, in that way, get enough students that we were able to actually get funding through Google Summer of Code. So the Redox Summer of Code was created because of the difficulties working with the Google Summer of Code project. If we have the time to dedicate to another student, we can get the funding for it. We have, as was mentioned in the last meeting, and we did finish, $20,000 was added out of the $400,000 donation, and more can be added this year to cover our budget. So if we do have more people who want to sign on for Redox Summer of Code and they have the qualities that we're looking for, then we will find the funding for it.
Okay, that's great. We did also get one specific donation that was to be targeted for Redox Summer of Code from our community. And we ended up using that money to support Anad's work. So that was very successful as well. So hopefully we can go back to the community first, and then maybe we'll come to you to talk about the past donations.
Right. One more thing I would want to add on is RustConf 2026, because the call for proposals closes on February 16th. So we just need to decide if we want to do a presentation or not. I'd be leaning more towards not doing a presentation this year.
The only thing that I could really think of that might be worthwhile is to do one of their lightning presentations to just give a status update on what we got done this year.
Sure.
So
I think it may be, I think alternatively, the time that we would put into that kind of presentation, if we were to create more video content on the Redox YouTube channel, it may help a lot. The reason I say that is, although I did get tons of people talking to me at RustConf, it ultimately reached a much larger audience after the recording was published. And I think we could do shorter and more interesting videos like what Ribbon had done with the software showcases, and link them directly to increasing our donations from individuals. If we could connect the creation of that kind of content with the amounts getting donated on Patreon, it may help. Because right now the goals that we have defined on Patreon are kind of arbitrary and not very well described. One of the goals, as you mentioned before, we have a list of contributors on the website, and we're not really doing a good job of keeping it up to date. And also that's a very low tier. So I would want to build in more reasons why people might see value in donating. And I think video content about Redox, it reaches far more people.
yes. There's also the podcasts that you do that are very, very helpful. And YouTube now has the ability, I think, to do joint podcasts where the content can show up both in our stream and in the podcaster's stream. So I'd really like to see that happen, and especially if we can get friendly podcasters where you can talk to them ahead of time to set a topic and do a talk specifically about a Redox related topic, what we're doing on, let's say, performance, what we're doing on security, what we're doing on WASI and WASM, those kinds of things. I think that would be great content and a way to bring in donations.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think the idea to show 1 second, 1
Yeah.
second. I'm back. I think the idea to show our progress in the next RESTConf is very good. I think until there, I think it's October, right? I think we have time to fix important REST programs in the community and bring more interest. And about the videos, I did not record a new software showcase because of bugs.
Right.
The system had many bugs, and when I tried to run the programs, they broke quickly. They broke quickly, frequently, and it was upsetting. And now I think the system is stable enough to return the program testing and showcasing.
Yeah, how I've felt over the past few months has been we had a number of very large breaking changes that had to be accomplished at some point. But once we made it through those changes, now we are in a phase where we really need to clean things up and fix the places where there are regressions, and then hopefully do another release. The main thing that was blocking me from doing a release was hardware issues, and those hardware issues are still present but being slowly resolved. In particular, the issues with having multiple CPUs and having deadlocks with multiple CPUs. On the software showcase side, just running in a virtual machine with a single CPU, and we should be able to show building Redox projects on Redox pretty soon. So I'm hoping Anhad will land that work soon. And I just want to tie it up into a new release, and then maybe we can do a video about that release because it's been such a long time since our last release.
Yes, that would be great.
To add more detail, I had these bugs in single core execution in KEMU. So I'm not mentioning the threading bugs.
Yeah, there are definitely a ton of bugs still there, especially after the capabilities work. And I merged a few things that were premature. The relibc changes to have unsafe inside of unsafe functions had some issues. I went through all those changes earlier today, and I think we resolved all of the ones where having the extra unsafe block caused a copy that caused the behavior to change. But yes, there are definitely things we need to resolve. I've also seen something strange on real hardware where the frame buffer console dies, which I would like to resolve. But the primary problem I have is with multi-threading, because if I disable that, I can keep a system running on real hardware for a very long time. But when I turn it on, I can get it to hang within minutes. Part of that too is the real hardware has on the order of 32 cores, whereas for KEMU we set it up for 4 cores by default.
Yeah.
So Ribbon, I do hope we get these resolved very soon. And I'm keeping track of all of the problems. And the thing for us to try to stress is to not make any more breaking changes. Now that we've landed these very large projects, we should try to keep things stable while we build back the things that we had before.
Great. Other thing is that, well, if I tested the programs and reported the bugs, I think it would not be sufficient because our CE lacking many testing. So as when our CE or continuous integration has enough testing to catch regressions and mistakes, I think when we incorporate, I don't know if it's possible, but incorporate OS tests from Sorty and ACID. I think if we can enable them and respect the job results, I think it's sufficient to keep our program compatibility stable.
Yeah, I agree.
Previsible.
Yeah, I think the pathway to that is to have the nightly builds then be used inside of Redoxer and then run the OS test and ACID test inside of them after every nightly build. The main issue that has been preventing that has been the hangs. But if we can set it up in a way where it can bring down the KMU VM anytime it hangs for long enough, then it should be okay. I think there's a way to set up a watchdog timer in KMU, so we could have the Redoxer daemon communicate with the watchdog timer, and if there's a total system hang, it would just shut down the system, and then the test would just be a failure. I've also been thinking about how to do automatic testing on real hardware. So this would also be interesting for different architectures. So that what I set up with network booting for my, I have like 4 different laptops, which is everything that would fit on my desk. And they can all, with the press of the power button, they can all network boot. Theoretically, if I get the power button to run off of an Arduino, then I can set them up to automatically boot and automatically shut down, and could potentially do automatic testing. So I saw in the Managarm progress report that they had done some automated testing on some ARM systems, some tiny SBCs, and I think we could do something very similar and do different hardware and ensure that it gets up to a running desktop. If they have networking too, we could potentially use SSH and actually extract things from the system, like automatically running OS test and extracting the logs, or getting screenshots from the system while running applications, things like that, to ensure that the nightly image is always booting and booting up to a desktop.
Do you plan to configure Jabber Runner recommended hardware, recommended computers?
Yes. So one thing I have in mind in particular is the Raspberry Pi, just having an image that will always boot on the Raspberry Pi. For x86, it's a little more complicated just because the ecosystem is so large. But I could have recommended systems. They would just be the ones that I end up having. The thing is, most of the time when there is an issue with real hardware, I can reproduce it on one of these systems. It's just a matter of having the time to get the thing out and plug it in and boot it. And having it all set up so it could be automated would fix that.
Okay, any other comments on that topic or fundraising in general? Okay. Can I get a motion to discuss the other action items?
Moved.
Seconded.
The following action items were previously identified, so if anyone has anything to report on them, please let me know. Coordinating contributors, I still haven't tried to use GitHub projects, GitLab projects, or any of those sorts of tools for team projects. I think that we do need to figure out how to get multiple people working in the same general area without conflicting with one another. But I don't know how to do that right now. Our website needs more content review, so that's an action item on me to go over the careers, governance, and so on, and improve the technical content of the, or not the technical content, but the more administrative side of the content for the website. And then 2024 and 2025 financials, that action item is on me. And again, I need to try and find an accounting system that seems to be the most likely way forward if I want to be successful with getting the financials sorted. Couple of action items from the last meeting. So I need to update the job description. We really are, I think, focused on finding a person who is part of the Redox community and would make a good full-time developer, core developer, someone who can be a kernel maintainer. I don't think we're going to be successful in recruiting an employee and then deciding that that's the right person. If you want to comment on that, feel free, but otherwise we can move on. Okay, another action item coming out of the previous meeting was for someone to reach out to the creator of Ethereum. So I will attempt to do that. I had a look at his past comments on Gitcoin, and I don't see anything recent about Gitcoin from him, but I will follow up. I think there's a couple of other sources of funding through GitHub that I want to check in and propose again. So I will get back to you on that as well. And one new action item that I would like to start tracking is that we need to have a policy on Gen AI. Jeremy, can I leave that with you?
Yes.
Okay. Are there any other action items? Okay, I'd like to then propose the following agenda for the next meeting, and the next meeting should take place no later than June 30th. So approval of the minutes for this meeting, a report on fundraising, a report on our development status, and a review of the action items. Is there any other business to discuss at this time? There being no other business, can I get a motion to adjourn?
Move it.
Seconded.
It's moved and seconded that we adjourn. Those in favor say aye. Those opposed say no.
Aye.
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 The ayes have it. The meeting is adjourned.